Hello there, Rose and friends. Here is a tutorial on the drone flute. In this case, for you, my friend Rose, on your new Blue Dream drone flute made from hard maple and white oak with copper and moonstone and Pacific yew. Now with these drone flutes, they have a stepped mouthpiece here. So this makes it easier to play solos on one side and then bridging your lips over for both. So we'll just start there. So this is just a standard A minor when you play this one side. And one of the things you can do with the drone is use it kind of like backup singers, you know? So you have the solo. So you can see how I was alternating between doing a melody over here and then backing up that melody in repetition using the drone side. And then you can also use the drone to build chords. So, you know, if my thumb is covered here, because there is a thumb hole on these flutes, and we'll get into that, that makes both these sides A when all 6 holes are covered here. Right? And then building chords. So let's say we'll go up to C. Or D. Or E. Or even all the way up. So you could have, you know, a high A and a low A going at the same time. Now there's a few different techniques I'm using here to create interest in the melody, create interest in the soundscape. So you may have just heard a wavering. That's vibrato. Little finger flutters. Little top accents. These aren't true notes when you just lift the high fingers here, but you can use them to pep up your melody. You can use staccato, so ticka-teka. It's called double tonguing, ticka-teka-teka-teka, because you give a thrust of air when your tongue goes forward, you give a thrust of air when your tongue goes back. You can do tongue flutters, like that. Right? So all sorts of different techniques you can use to create interest in your music, the music you're creating, the music that is channeling through you with the flute. There's more to that, but just play around with it and it will develop. So yeah, let's get more into, you know, the main scales. So in this case, in the main scale here, we have pentatonic A minor. That's leaving the ring finger down. The ring finger comes in when you want to do hexatonic. So this is called cross fingering to get this note. So in this case, we're going third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then octave. You see that? So you have to move 3 fingers when going up here. So like this. See that? Isn't that cool? Okay, so that's the hexatonic minor. Now we can turn that into a Celtic minor, which is same fingering down here on your bottom hand. And then up here, instead of doing the ring finger, we just keep the ring finger down. So this also plays on 5-hole flutes. And we do this cross finger. So we bring the index back down while lifting the top ring. So Celtic minor, you heard it right. Okay, and now if we bring up this finger first and then continue our scale on the lower part, then we get the Celtic major. See that? And now we'll take these bottom cross fingers, because this is a cross finger here. You know, this is open, this is closed. We'll take these cross fingers, we're going to combine them with that hexatonic sixth, and this makes the Hijaz scale, or Egyptian, Arabic. Get that? So, one of my favorite songs. Okay, so you saw I was also doing some high notes here. These are called the second register notes. There's only a couple in the Native American flute. So here you have one of your minor notes. And it depends, you know, major, minor, with these top notes, like what mode you're using them in. Are you using them in the Hijaz scale, the Arabic Egyptian scale? Are you using them in the Celtic scale? Are you using them in hexatonic major or minor? Because depending on that, you know, you're going to use only one. So one of the one I was just doing with that song was 3 fingers down while holding the ring finger down. So again, just like a 5-hole flute can do, the ring finger's down. So let's try that again. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so that takes this A, so the top note's A, in this case, it's the octave. That makes it an A sharp. You can see here on our tuner. Now, there's also this cross finger here. And on this flute, it likes a little bit of a partial cover just to get it more precise in the intonation. So, closer tuning. But typically, right here. And we're back to kind of like that Celtic, pagan kind of thing going on. Or just major notes. So you got a B note on top there, A, B. Right? But you got to blow a little bit harder and a little bit more wind into it. Now you're not going to use all these notes together because it's too many half steps. So this is what it sounds like if you do too many half steps. Some scales use it, some more jazz stuff. Here is a jazz scale, one of the harder ones to learn. And that's one of the more complicated scales to learn, one of the modes to learn. Your major scale is also more difficult on a minor flute. So A major is actually a lot of moving fingers, but C major is all the same notes as the pentatonic or hexatonic minor. So it's the natural, the third, the minor third up is always the natural major of the minor key. So A major is, A minor is C major. But you start in a different place. Instead of starting on A, you start on C. Pretty cool. Okay, now we're gonna get the thumb hole working here. And so the thumb hole allows you to jump this up a fourth to D. So with the thumb hole open, so look at this. So I'm here on D. Isn't that cool? And so this becomes the root or the fundamental for a higher D scale. Isn't that cool? Now as a minor, let's do something a little bit peppier, a little more major. also play with the pitches of that note and create that oscillating frequency by doing partial covers. So doing partial covers, rolling your thumb closer to that note. You can take it down to the major third. You can even take it down to the minor third. Which puts it back at C major. So see where my thumb is? Just a little bit covering that hole. That takes some more time and some practice to really get used to doing partial notes. Yeah, so that's a lot of different playing styles and a lot of different modes that you can do on mouthing techniques. You have a large back pressure chamber here, the slow air chamber, so that really smooths stuff out. Some basic maintenance for your playing maintenance is to make sure your birdie doesn't get too wetted out. So if we open this right now, it's very humid today, it just rained. If we open this right now, we can see some water in there. And that's just condensation. So what's great about the elastic that I use is you can just open that and wipe it out. See that condensation? Not drool in this case. I don't drool anymore. I've been playing flute too long. But that's all condensation in there. And we can just wipe that out, drop it back, and then make sure it's still aligned. So you want, with alignment, what you want, and let's see here. Let's get a light so you can really see what I'm talking about. Set this down for a second. Fix this flute. Show you what I mean here. So these are the whistles, and the whistles have to be directly aligned with the flat parts of the chimney. This is the chimney part of the birdie block. And so you don't want it back behind it like that. You don't want it in front like that. You want it right on there. So it should be a flush line, a straight line from this surface down to the back surface there. And you'll notice, wow, my flute feels weird if it's too far forward or too far back. Which is right there. And other than that, you know, if it gets really, really wetted out, just go ahead and set the birdie back here, take the birdie off completely and let it dry out. There are a few other techniques I use. Say I'm playing when it's really humid, particularly humid and cold. Flutes wet out really fast. What you can do is say it's wetting out really bad. Here, we'll just simulate it. A little spray bottle. All right. It's kind of losing a lot of pressure. It's kind of being weird. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a super dry mouth and blow a ton of air through there to blow the condensation, the wetness, out the mouthpiece. Oh, a little bit of wetness there. And then we can just continue playing. You can also do it blowing really hard through here. Just know that it's going to make a shriekingly loud sound. So, like this. You can use that. I like to actually cover the birdie a little bit, because what that does is that takes away the resonance. So you're not like making some shrieking high whistle. But you also might make a whistle. You can use that too. Little birdie sounds. cool little things you can play with. Yeah, and basically that's all there is to it. You can wash your flute with mild soap and water, not any alcohol, because these are shellac coated, which is alcohol soluble. So no sanitizer sprays or anything like this. You can use diluted essential oils, but I don't recommend direct essential oils. They also, a lot of oils tend to, dissolve finishes as well. So, but yeah, you can actually wash out the inside of your flute with just lukewarm water or cold water. You can wash it out here, no problems. It's totally, it's totally waterproof in that regard. Keep it out of the heat, out of the direct sun for long periods of time, and it'll serve you for many, many, many years to come, and maybe even be passed down to another generation. You never know. Yeah, so thank you all so much, and thank you, my friend Rose, for purchasing this beautiful Blue Dream flute. And yeah, stay tuned for more Machu Didgeridoos Native American flutes.